What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. We're going to do a SoFi update because didn't do one yesterday and had back-to-back red days. SoFi's not really selling off for any big reason or any particular reason. I think it's just the overall market selling off, and especially IWM selling off. Just not having a great week, but nothing to panic about. Bank charter's still coming. I do believe we'll see the bank charter within November or December, hopefully November. But overall, the market needed a pullback. We saw SPY and QQQ kind of pull back towards the end of the day. Things were pumping in the beginning of the day. We saw Google, Amazon, Tesla. A lot of things were up at the beginning and then kind of faded off towards the end. But we do need a pullback. There's not many deals out there. So I would start to possibly hedge with some puts and not over position in the market at the moment, because you don't want to buy high and then, things dip and then you're stuck with it. I would try to kind of sit back and look where the deals are at the moment, and that's how you attack it. But we're going to get into SoFi, go over the recent news, charts, and everything that's coming up. So if you enjoy these videos, please like and subscribe. Check out the Patreon, and let's get into it. All right, so first up, we have an article here. Want to get richer, buy these top stocks and wait 10 years. So those of you who are in SoFi long-term, I don't think you're too worried about the sell-offs. I think the more traders or short-term mindset people are worried about when there's red days, but we know that SoFi is going to perform very well in the coming years, and we have reason to believe that there's a lot more to come for this company with the catalyst coming up and insiders loading up, institutions loading up on SoFi. So here it says SoFi Technologies looks like a good candidate for your hard-earned dollars. These companies should benefit as trends like e-commerce and digital finance become more popular, and both stocks give significant upside potential. Scrolling down on the article a bit, it basically talks about how SoFi offers more than the traditional bank and credit union or insurers because of their all-in-one platform. So their single mobile platform provides an end-to-end suite of financial products designed to meet its members' needs at each stage of life. SoFi breaks its business into two categories, lending and financial services. The former includes student loans, home loans, personal loans, while the latter offers money management, investing, and credit card services. So they're really doing everything here. So in short, SoFi's platform helps consumers borrow, save, spend, invest. It's kind of like their slogan on their website. But you can see the numbers that are changing. So members from Q2 of 2020 to 2021 are up 113%. Revenues up 75%. So SoFi puts market opportunity at over $2 trillion, and shareholders have good reason to be optimistic. In October 2020, the company received preliminary conditional approval for its bank charter, and we know that's coming soon. I want to say in the next 2 months. That's what I'm hopeful for. So, for example, a banking charter will allow SoFi to allow the company to offer deposit accounts through its management platform called SoFi Money. The fintech company will then be able to use that money in those deposit accounts to fund its lending businesses. So it won't need a third party to go through. It'll just be consumer directly to SoFi. So more broadly, this will further differentiate the company from its rivals, expanding SoFi's ability to build lifelong consumer relationships. So we know SoFi reports earnings pretty soon here on November 9th. Obviously, earnings are volatile. They can go either way, but I do expect SoFi to have better earnings than their last earnings report. I think the SPAC merger actually affected their earnings along with loans being deferred. So I do believe their member growth, revenue growth is going to be reflected in this earnings. And another company that does lending just reported earnings today. That's Lending Club, and they crushed it. They're up 768 after hours to 39.30. So it'd be awesome if SoFi got a move like that. As you can see, we scroll down to the bottom. They crushed earnings per share by 23 cents, which is a huge beat. Pretty good company. I know this one's getting a lot more traction as well. On the week, it was pretty steady around $35. Sold off a bit today. And then after hours absolutely went crazy. So hopefully SoFi does well on their earnings and we get a move like that. Another reason I think SoFi is going to beat, one being their revenue growth, two being their member growth. A lot more people know what SoFi is. They're not as new of a company as when they first became, public via SPAC. It's not as skeptical. They're getting a ton of analyst upgrades, a lot of coverage on articles, and they are pushing advertising and marketing like crazy. Just a lot of people know what SoFi is, and they are transferring over to SoFi's platform. However, a big reason I think SoFi will do well on earnings is guidance. Not only do I think they're going to beat EPS, but I think they're going to give very good guidance going into 2022 with student loans starting back up. and, the bank charter coming. So a couple options that I would be looking at if you are a gambler and you want to play something risky, then November 12th, that is just like playing earnings. That's a lottery ticket. Means if you lose, you're not worried about it. That's money you can lose. Another somewhat close expiration date that I like would be January of 2022. So any of these are relatively cheap, still gives plenty of time for the possible bank charter to be announced or them to crush earnings. Now, I also like March 18th, 2022. This gives you a little bit more cushion for things to play out. Now, I'm looking to pick up these over any of the other ones starting, probably tomorrow if the day is red. And I think this gives you plenty of time. The other two that I just mentioned would be more so lottery plays because there's not that much time to expiration and anything can happen. Something that I would definitely load up on would be 2023 or 2024. Any of these are, in my opinion, very safe for what's to come to SoFi. I'd probably just get January 20th, 2023s. Now, I did have a couple of these actually in my Roth. Those played out very nicely, made I think $500 or $600 on them, sold them, and I'm looking to potentially buy those again if we get a little bit more of a discount on those. A couple more things I wanted to add here is that Anthony Noto recently acquired 330,905 shares on October 20th. That is obviously the CEO of SoFi. And another fun fact is that Morgan Stanley anticipates SoFi to exhibit one of the fastest top-line growths among giant leading fintech, lending, and payment processing companies. All right, now taking a look at the one-day chart. As mentioned in my last video, this was forming that rounding bottom as the cup. We just needed the handle. We saw a little bit of a pullback, and we obviously rejected off this trend line right here, that resistance. Rejected that, pulled back today. Now, we did form that handle. As long as we hold this, let's say we hold $19, I think this is still valid. So hopefully it doesn't, keep creeping down too much more and invalidate this pattern because it is one of my favorite patterns to play. It typically plays out nicely. We have first support at 1929, second support 1862. You have your first resistance at 2080 and second at 2164. Post market, you can see SoFi has bounced a little bit, so we'll see how the day goes tomorrow. But overall, we expected this. We saw the call flow. People were selling calls, buying puts. It wasn't too bad of a call flow. It just looked like the move was exhausted and needed a bit of a breather. So we see this happen with SoFi a lot. When it gets overbought, you're going to see profit taking and people selling it off. That's exactly what happened, and we called that out in the videos. We knew that this needed a breather and it was going to come down a little bit, but now it's approaching that neutral zone. So we'll see if buyers step in there ahead of these catalysts. So that's pretty much it, guys. Just a quick update. Let me know what tickers you're watching in the comments below and what you're watching, especially for earnings this coming week. Hope you guys enjoy. Please like and subscribe, and have a good one.